is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? What is up, Grocknation? Welcome back to the arcade this evening for another board game playthrough. In the spirit of Halloween, we are playing another horror movie-based board game, and this is one of my favorite games of all time. It is the Thing Infection at Outpost at 31. It is the ultimate paranoia party game. 1 to 8 or 4 to 8 players is what it is. I find 5 or 6 is the sweet spot. 4's too little, and I find 8 is a little overwhelming. But 5 to 6 for me is perfect. So we are going to do a playthrough. Once again, I'm going to get characters for you guys to cheer for and select as your winner. But before we get into this video too far without me mentioning, don't forget, if you like the video, to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel and you like this kind of content, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe. But first up, let's get the characters and get the characters to select their characters. Let's get into that. So once again, we're going to select characters from my figurines, and just like last time, feel free to cheer for who you want. Obviously, the outcome is going to be somewhat predetermined. It actually isn't going to be straight up predetermined like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is, because there's X factors in here that are going to change the way I have to play this game for you guys, and as such, who may or may not be winning. But with that being said, let's get into the characters used this evening. So first up, we're bringing back the champ. She won the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously, and that is Cammy White from Street Fighter. Super cool figurine. So she is the first contestant. Give her some booty for you guys. Up next we have Quentin Rampage Jackson from Round 5 Collectibles, his Pride 28 fight with Vanderlei Silva. I didn't want to put Vanderlei in here as well as him because there'd be a fight for sure. I want to kind of keep it peaceful here. This is an ASMR video after all. Up next we have WrestleMania 12 Bret Hart. Funko Pop, that is. We have number 98 from the Las Vegas Raiders, Max Charger Killer Crosby. He is the 4th player. And the 5th and final player is another Funko Pop character, and it is captain of the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid, with the classic orange, and for some reason pisses me off, no C on his jersey. So, not supposed to be the most accurate, obviously, they're just Funko Pops, but still. So these are our players this evening. So once again, feel free to select who you think is going to win. And if you won, let me know down below. And thank me, obviously. But with that being said, let's get them to select their characters, and then we'll go over an overview of the game, and then we'll jump right in. Okay, so first and foremost, we have the roll for who's captain first. And then the character selection will go counterclockwise here. So let's start with Mr. Quentin Rampage Jackson. I brought the game board out because I tried to roll it on the table. It's way too loud for you guys. So you got a 6, Cammy White. He's got an 8, Bret Hart. 7. So far, 8's to beat. 7 again. So Cammy White is going to be the captain, the first captain. You change who's the captain every turn. We'll get to that, why that's important later on. But first and foremost, she is going to select her character first. I'm going to move Rampage Jackson over. There are all the characters from the movies in here. Keith David's Childs. Obviously Kurt Russell's McCready is in here. The other known actor is Wilford Brimley. The rest of them, I don't really think they did much. This guy did some too. I should actually know who he is. as well as this guy, this Ted Shepard looking guy. But they all have different classes, like this guy's maintenance, and then you have science, and ops is the blue. They don't really mean much, except that you have to balance your team, so you might not have a choice. You have to pick a character from that certain color. You have to make sure that all the colors are kind of balanced. Each one of them has their own captain power as well. When they're captain, they have an ability. And that's pretty much it. That's really the only thing with selecting these characters. They don't come with extra hit points or anything like that. There is no hit points or anything like that in here, as you guys will see. But first up, so Cammy, obviously, like everyone does, she's going to pick Kurt Russell's McCready. Now it's up to Bret Hart. He can't pick yellow right off the bat. Yellow's off the table because there's already one yellow. So Bret Hart is going to go with... he's going to go with Windows. So Bret Hart has Windows. Okay, which means this next character, Max Crosby, has to pick from Science. And he is going to pick... ooh, there's a tough one. He's going to pick Bennings. Spoiler alert, the first person infected in the movie. Now Connor McDavid can pick any one of the three. So McDavid is going to go with Clark, the dog keeper. Now Quentin has to go with either Science or Ops. He's going to go with Wilford Brimley's Blair. So the characters are selected for the game. That gets put aside for the entire game. So up next, what we're going to do is we're going to get the board game set up, and I'm going to make everyone draw their blood cards, and that's very important in this game, as you guys will come to see. It really is the whole purpose of this game, so let's get into that, get this board nice and set up for you guys. Okay, so this next part is essentially the entire purpose of this game, is the blood samples. Now each one of these players right off the bat is going to draw a blood sample, and in this blood sample they're either going to they're either going to be human or they're going to be infected. As you know, the Thing in the movie imitates humans. It can imitate anything. It starts with a dog, and its whole purpose is to survive. So right now in the story, in the movie, it's from an alien ship that crashes in the Arctic, and it's trying to get into civilization, human civilization. So it's up to these guys to make sure that doesn't happen. And one of them is infected. They all know that. It starts to become obvious as things start to get sabotaged, and they know one of them's not really human. So that's why they're going to draw these cards, these players. And as you can see, there's 4 humans and there's 1 imitation card. This guy is going to be the saboteur. He officially, or she, if it's Cammy, officially is on team imitation if they draw that card. Now, they're going to keep this card for the rest of the game. Once you're in imitation, you can never go back human. Every time they finish a sector, this is 1 sector, this is 2 sectors, this is 3 sectors, they will all draw another card from our blood sample deck, which I'll shuffle when the time comes, but it's going to sit there for the whole game. And if they are freshly infected, because they can never have more than 1 blood sample card, they'll always put 1 back without showing anybody, so you never know who's infected, who's not. They could be infected by the time they go from these sectors to these sectors. So by the very end, once you get to the 3rd sector, if you actually complete those missions, you get to get on a helicopter and fly away. The captain decides we'll get there. If we actually get there, it's really hard to get there. And if a Thing manages to get off in the helicopter and away from the Arctic, Team Thing wins. If it's all humans, humans win. Humans win. They reveal their cards at that point. There's also cards in here tools, I believe. Oh, jeez, what tool are they? Flamethrowers. Because in the movies, like, you have beakers. There's beakers, and they test the blood with the beakers. They put heat to it, and the thing will defend itself. So they all draw blood, put it in the beakers or little, beakers. No, beakers are the tubes. I'm not sure, little bowls. And if it's a thing, the blood will try to survive. And so that's how they can tell. So people with flamethrowers, they can use the use to check to see if someone's a thing. They can ask, Brett wants to ask Connor McDavid, I want to see your card. Now, he can show Brett his card, and it's up to Brett. If Brett wants to lie and tell them all he's human or he's not, Brett can't show anybody the card. Only he has that knowledge. He might be infected, and he suspects that Connor's infected. So he does the test to ensure it. He sees that Connor's infected, and he tells the rest of the people he's human. Whether they believe him or not, paranoia really comes into play here. So it's such a fun concept. After a few turns, guys, you guys will understand the process of all this. I'll explain how the turns go. But first, let's get them all to draw cards. And this is what I mean by it's not predetermined for me, because I don't know who's going to be. I'm going to check their cards and see who the imitation is. But I don't know who the imitation is going to be. I'm not picking a favorite here, so someone you pick very well could be on the winning team, imitation or humans. I don't know. So there's McDavid's. There's Crosby's. There's Brett, Cammy, and Quentin. Now I'm going to go around. I'm going to see what's what, who's who. Okay. 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 I really hope you guys can see these cards. Okay. So I know who the imitation is now. Let's move all this out of the way. These are cards, like I said, they keep with them for the rest of the game. And if and when they get past the first sector, they all draw to see if they become infected. It's happened to me, and it sucks. When I was an imitation to start a game, we got to the second section, and I'm the one that drew the imitation card, so it sucks for team imitation, because then you're just working by yourself, when technically there's a good chance there'll be two of you by the time you get to Sector 2. That's going to help sabotage stuff, and that's what we're going to get to next. Basically, the game starts. The captain always goes first, and he selects a room. As you can see, these ones, this is Sector 1, this gray area. The green area here is Sector 2. And then the dark area is Sector 3. There's missions they have to do to get past sectors. So Sector 1, they have to defeat a thing and find rope. That's all they got to do for Section 1. Then they move on to Section 2 after a blood test. So underneath these tokens, one of them is going to be rope, one of them is going to be a thing, and they need to figure out which one's which. So it works good that way, like unpredictability. The first monster they face is the dogs, Clark's dogs. The second thing they face, actually I should put them here, is Blair's head. Or Benning's head, sorry. And then they fight the two big thing monsters. For the third sector, they need to fight two things and get a flamethrower. So that's what they have to do for that now, where the sabotage and everything comes in. This is what everyone's always interested in. Every character always has to have a float of 5 cards. 3, 4, 5. And in these cards are supplies and or sabotage cards. So if you're an imitation, you're going to want to have sabotage cards, because then you can sabotage missions and cause them to fail. I'll show you guys here in a bit with a fake hand. So these are the type of cards. These dice rolls only really matter for fighting the thing. Obviously, a gun will give you 3 dice plus 3 dice. Flashlights, this is to go into rooms where there's power outages. You need a flashlight. Fire extinguishers, obviously it'll add 1 dice roll to a fight with a thing, but the main reason you use fire extinguishers to put out smoke and fires. Axe, again, a weapon, plus 2 dice. Copper wire, plus 1. I'm trying to find you guys a sabotage card here. They're red, bright red cards. There's one. So there's one, right there. It's generator room. Someone on a team discards from their own hand a gun, or the investigation fails. So yeah, they're really crazy. I'll put this the other hand at the bottom here. They're not always automatic fails, like right there. If a sabotage person drew that or played that, guns are very important, especially for fighting things. So you might carry a shotgun if you're human, going, I need this to fight a thing. Once we find one, it'll help the dice roll. But like I said, you would have to discard it, or your mission fails. Every time you fail a mission, the dreaded chess master computer McCready likes to play. As you can see, it's got the chess logos on there. Goes up a notch, and there's a penalty. Now with 5 players, you go up to level 6, and it's done. You guys lose. The team thing wins, and or the rooms get destroyed. Once you get 4 rooms destroyed, game's over. You guys all freeze to death because you're in the Arctic, and that happens with rooms catching on fire and not putting the fire out. Now every mission they go on, these little characters go on, the captain has to always go. This is why the captain gets the gun. So if your thing, you don't want any heat on you. You know, especially early on, it's really stupid to play thing or sabotage cards if you're in a small group of people. Say 3 people go out into a room, and one of these 3 is a saboteur, and you know they do the first mission, and one of them decides to play a sabotage card. Well, then 2 of the 3 know that they're human. And now these 2 guys as well know that they're humans. Now, as, say, Giles, or what is this, Windows, say he's the thing. Now you've had these 4 now. Well, these 2 for sure are going to align with whoever they think is human. Because now these other 2 people know for sure these 2 aren't the thing. So it'd be a stupid thing to do. It's really, you have to be careful when you play sabotage cards, because, yeah, it can out you early on. It's easier to do it here, obviously, because there's probably potential there's just going to be 2 of you. But you're asking, what happens, Grok? What happens if you're a saboteur? And it becomes pretty obvious, and it's the main consensus of the team. A couple things can happen. 1, if you have a flamethrower, the team has to vote on it. They can murder you, burn you to death. Number 2, they can tie you up with rope, which you can only get tied up for 1 round, and you're stuck in the office or the rec room. They tie you to the chair. So you can't go on a mission and sabotage it. You know, if they're all convinced you're the sabotage or you're the thing. There's things like you could do like that. And again, there's just no way to tell for sure. Unless, like I said, you get a flamethrower and you can ask to see the person's card. Which, you know, is generally, you want to do it in a 3rd sector because you want to make sure you're not bringing a thing with you if you guys end up escaping. Now, fighting the things, we'll look that up here in a bit once we get to it. You have to roll, I think for the first things, you have to roll 3 of a kind once, I think. But again, your dice numbers count to the rolls as well. We'll get to that when we get there, though. I just want to kind of get this game started. Give you guys a feel for everything when we have to fight the thing. We'll figure that out. It's been about a year since I've played this, maybe over a year. Actually, it was my old house. We used to always play this game. It was very hard to get when I discovered it because Among Us was huge. It just came out, and everybody bought this game. They had to reprint it because there was no more copies. People were selling them for as high as $400 on eBay because they knew they were out of print. I remember this guy I almost bought from Toronto. It was the cheapest I could find it, almost $300 it was like $280 or something. This one in the print that same month, and I bought it, pre-order bought it. It was for $80, and that guy dropped his price to $100 overnight, but it was crazy. But anyways, with that being said, let's get started. I want you guys to see how this game plays, and by the end of it, I really think you guys are going to want to get this game and play it for yourselves. Great, great fun with your friends for sure. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started. So Cammy White being the captain, is going to decide where she is going. And she is deciding to go into room 1. Or sorry, not room 1, the common office just across the hall. Now before she goes, she needs to figure out who she's bringing with her, what the team mission is, etc., etc. So, this is unfortunately an event, which is not a good one. It's smoke in a current sector. Roll to determine room. Place smoke in the highest sector unlocked. Draw a new mission card. So, this is unfortunate for her. They're going to roll for the room. These are the rolls right there. As you can see, there's 6 rooms. Room number 3, which is the kennel. So we have a token for smoke. So there we go. So this room for this turn is smoking. If it's not resolved this turn, it turns to fire next round. And if it's not resolved that turn, this room is destroyed. And the token with it. So you have to really be careful with that. You have to make sure you're taking care of your fires. Now I can't recall if you lose this, say this is a thing. I think there's always 2 of everything, so in case one gets destroyed. I'm not sure about that actually. We'll figure that out if it ends up happening, but yeah, because if this is a vital thing you need, like I said, you need rope and you need to kill one thing. I think you could still fight it, but the room's destroyed. Is what if I recall correctly. So if this room's destroyed, this still stays there. But again, it counts to your room's destroyed token, and you can't afford to have more than 4. Then the game's over. Oh, right there. Okay. 3 rolls to get 3. Okay, there's the things, the fights, the thing. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it's on here. So level 1, level 2, level 3. That's 1, 2, 3. Well, we're going a little too ahead of ourselves here, though. Let's draw the next mission card. Okay, so this one's 4 to 5 players, so she can bring 4 to 5. Reveal all cards. Roll dice equal to their total dice value. If you get 22 plus, you pass. As you guys can see that. Now you're wondering, what is the green and the white here? That means as long as you meet this requirement. So you bring what is it, science and maintenance. As the captain, you get to remove 1 card from your supply and grab a new one. So if you want a better card, that has to be met though. Sometimes that just can't be met. Maybe there's not that many players left. You don't trust a player who's one of these. But that's what that does. So again, she wants to go to common office, so that's where they're going. And she is going to bring, oh geez, this is where it gets difficult for me doing it myself, because right now if you're a saboteur, you might volunteer yourself because you have a red card. I don't know who has red cards here. Let me just double check. In these decks. I don't know if I shuffle these good enough. Regardless, she has to bring a yellow, and which is herself, and she has to bring a green, so she's gonna bring Blair for sure, herself and Blair. She's gonna bring Windows, aka Bret Hart, and she's gonna bring Clark. He's volunteering to stay behind. Again, this is a tactic. You don't want to always bring everybody, because that's the best time for a thing to sabotage, because then you're guessing out of 5 people. Now, if something happens here, you guys are going to know it's not Bennings. So, Bennings gets left behind, so if you ever get left behind from a mission, there's a perk to it. You do get to exchange a card. So that's what Bennings is going to do. That's kind of like at least you don't get nothing kind of card. Okay, so this is Benning's new card. That goes there. Okay, again, the mission. Reveal all cards. Oh, jeez, I can't grab this. Reveal all cards. Roll dice equal to their total plus dice value. If you get 22 plus, you pass. So it's kind of a difficult one. So they're all going to present cards to try to get the highest to pass this. So it's Brett's card. Now we're going to see Tammy as captain because, or Cammy, because she does have she met the requirement if she's going to swap a card out. And she actually is going to swap a card. That was a crap card she had. And she got the exact same card back, okay? So that's her card as well. Now let's look at her captain power, because they all have captain powers. McCready's captain powers. Once per round, you may do one of the following. If you pass an investigation, all players on a team may discard one card and draw another. That's cool. You can add a +1 or a -1 to any die, so she can do that once per turn as captain. That's her captain power right there. You guys can see that. So I have the lights out here, guys, so you're not seeing my shadow reflection so much. Yeah, that's what's going on with that. If you're wondering why it's so dark here. Okay, so yeah, she gave her a card. Quentin Jackson. Did I not give him a card for this? Okay, he's actually got really good cards, Jackson. And the last one's McDavid. So Mr. Connor McDavid. So here are the cards. Now Cammy is going to reveal them to everybody. Again, it's up to her if she wants to show everybody, but this is one of those ones, reveal all. So she has to show everybody. So we got an axe. An axe is +2 dice. Another axe is +2. That's 4 dice now. Another axe, that's 6 dice. That's the max dice, so this doesn't matter. You can only ever roll 6 dice. So this all goes in a discard pile. And we roll our dice. So because we have max dice, we have a good chance of getting +22. Whoops. Well, now we know that's a thing too, so we have to kind of mix things up here. Whoops, that can't go there. That's a 2. Okay, so 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, unfortunately. But again, she has her power. She can add +1 or +2 to a dice. So she's going to add her +1. It is now 22. So they passed this mission. As you can see, they need 22. And her captain power, she can add +1 or +2. Which means now they pass it, she can't use her other power, which is everyone gets to discard a crappy card. So, what they got was discard. So they all get to discard a card anyway. And that room is clear. So this goes back over here. So then they know the thing, or the rope is not in this room. So they all go back to the rec room. And they all get to discard a crappy card. And on top of that, they all get to draw another card, because you have to always have 5 cards in your deck. I almost flipped over her card. Brett, yeah, Brett went, did he? Yep. And McDavid went, so McDavid gets to discard a crap card. And some of them are crappy, like Petri dishes, for example. There you go, Petri dishes. They're worth 0. Okay, so everyone got rid of a crappy card. We have to top up, make sure everyone's got 5 cards. Jackson's up to 5. I think Cammy needs 5 as well. Yep, she needs 1 more. Brett needs 1 more. I'm pretty sure. Yep. And McDavid needs 1 more for sure. And like I said, Killer Crosby didn't go, so 5. There we go. That's the first turn. So you guys are kind of getting a little bit of understanding to this. Now this becomes a fire. because it wasn't dealt with that round. So, the gun gets passed to Brett, which means Brett has to go on this mission regardless. And he has to choose where they're going and everything else. So Brett wants to go to room 6, or what is this, 6? Storage room. Brett wants to go to the storage room. The storage room is a 5-player team. Again, Brett gets an advantage if he has 2 greens and 1 blue. That's possible, yep. So 2 greens and 1 blue. The objective is shuffle, then reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is a fire extinguisher, you pass. Okay, here comes the little bit of diplomacy. Connor McDavid volunteers to not go on this mission because he has a fire extinguisher and he needs to put out that fire in the kennel. He's volunteering not to go on the mission. So, sussy maybe. Also, maybe he's human and he doesn't want to lose a room to risk them losing. So, Brett agrees. McDavid will go to the fire room with Clark, his little dog, go to the kennel and put the fire out. The rest are going to go to the storage room. And Brett meets the requirement. 2 green, 2 science, and 1 blue. I believe, yeah, ops. 1 blue ops. So, he gets the free discard because he met that requirement. Okay, so Bret Hart gets the free discard. Let's see if he wants to get rid of anything. It's not that crappy, but... Okay, well, that's crappier, actually. Alright, so, Bret Hart's captain. Powers, let's take a look, shall we? Windows. Once per turn, you may do one of the following. Discard 1 card and draw 2 cards while swapping during investigation or battle. Reroll all dice. So that's a really good captain power for Windows to have. Okay, so shuffle and reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is a fire extinguisher, you pass. So everyone's got to give a card. He's going to shuffle it. And if there is a fire extinguisher in there, they pass. So if someone has a fire extinguisher, McDavid claimed he had one, but he needs to put this fire out. If there's at least one, was it? Yeah, so as long as there's a fire extinguisher in here, they will pass this mission, so. But they need to shuffle it, so it's not guaranteed. So if someone puts a fire extinguisher in there in hopes that he'll find it, it might not get it. And this is where, people will be talking like, I don't have a fire extinguisher, I'm giving you guys a heads up. Or, hey, I'm going to put this card in, even though, you might not. You gotta be careful, because if you say you're going to put, say, a Petri dish in, and 3 Petri dishes come up, then people are going to be like, okay, well, I can't really believe you said that, because I don't know which one's you. You could have not been the Petri dish, right? Okay, so all the cards are put in here. Again, we're going to pick 2 random cards, and if one of them is a fire extinguisher, you pass. Now this is different than Captain reveals when he looks at the cards himself, because I obviously can't look at these cards. He would resolve a sabotage if he's seen it, but because of this, he's randomly rolling. So this, if Brett was a saboteur, this wouldn't be good for him, because there's not a guaranteed saboteur. So we're going to draw 2 random cards. There it is. So everything stops. This has to be resolved before we can draw the next one. Somebody got into the blood. Investigation automatically fails. So you can't even resolve this one. This is the worst one to get. So all the cards, you don't get to see what they were. They get discarded as well. And we narrow down our saboteur. And it isn't Connor McDavid. Now, this happened to me as well before when I played this. You might be a human with 4 saboteur cards, and you have no choice. You have to play them. if you get taken on a mission, you have to play them. You might lie to the team or try to tell them, look, guys, I have nothing but saboteur cards. I have the sabotage. And then they'll be like, bullshit, you're a thing then. So, with that big a group, it's possible someone had to use a saboteur card, but it's not likely. Regardless, this moves up one notch, which means the current room is now smoking. Everyone goes back. The current room is now smoking. McDavid told you guys he had a fire extinguisher to prevent that room from burning down, and he did. He put the fire out, so that fire is out in that room. McDavid's extinguisher gets put away. Okay, now everyone's got to get topped up for cards. Everyone used one card, so everyone needs to get a fifth card again. So now, definitely these people would be talking. Suspicion would be arising. The only thing the three humans would know for sure is McDavid, as of right now, is likely human, because he wasn't anywhere near there when that sabotage happened. So this is where the paranoia, like I said, starts to set in, and people are going to start suspecting certain people. You know, the way you talk, the way maybe you answered a question or suggested something along those lines always happens in here, and it's what really makes this fun. Okay, so Killer Crosby is, our charge killer, is now the captain for this next one. And let me see if anyone has an extinguisher that wants to put it out. I don't think so. Again, it's not one of those things you have to worry about too much, because it won't be on fire until next round, and then it gets destroyed, so. And then the mission might require all of you to go, and you can't go and do it anyway, right? So, and also because McDavid went and dealt with a fire and he didn't stay in the rec room, he doesn't get a redraw card, if you guys were wondering. So here we go again. Again, 5-player team. Reveal all cards. If you have a knife and a gun, you pass. Requires 1 maintenance and 2 blues automatically. We only have 1 blue in the whole team, or in the whole lobby, 1 ops. So right off the bat, Crosby doesn't get a redraw, the captain perk. Again, Connor McDavid volunteers with a fire extinguisher to go and put this room out. Apparently he's a fireman. So the other teams, the rest of the team agrees. So now they know they're going to be going into this next mission, likely with a thing again. There's McDavid's card to put the fire out. So the fire is out, and again, because he didn't stay in a rec room, he doesn't get a redraw. Okay, so Crosby's got to choose where they're going to go. And Crosby is choosing the shed, aka Blair's jail from the movie. So here they all come. Reveal all cards. If you have a knife and a gun, you pass. So they all got to give 1 card. Actually, yeah, he does have 1, okay. Crosby. So there's all the cards. We're going to reveal them all to everybody, and if there's a knife and a gun, they pass this mission. Peach, oh, there we go. There's a sabotage. There's 2 knives. So the sabotage, is it going to be one they can resolve? It is. Captain discards from their own hand an axe or a knife, or the investigation/battle fails. So Crosby has to have a knife or a gun, is it? Axe or a knife? He does. So Crosby uses his axe, and he passes the sabotage, so it doesn't fail. But They don't have a gun. They needed a gun and a knife, remember? They don't have the gun or knife, so they do fail regardless. But he did do one thing. He demonstrated that he was willing to pass that. That can't be right, though, right? Because if you revealed all the cards and already you failed, why would he give away his gun? You know what? No, we're going to give them the win for that. I'm going to say that that's a win. Because why would he give up his axe if it's already a failed mission? You know what I mean? Yeah, we're going to give them the win for that. And the win is the Thing. So these four get to fight the Thing. And Thing 1, again, is the dogs. So they're going to fight the Thing in a shed. Because McDavid is away, McDavid does not get to play. Now again, they have to get 3 rolls to get a 3 of a kind. So they count, they carry forward the rolls, is what I mean. So these 4 are going to roll cards, and they're going to see how many dice they're going to use for this. Again, a maximum of 6 dice is needed. Now, if you're the saboteur, they haven't found the rope yet, but you're kind of hoping you get onto the next sector at this point because you're already under suspicion. It's one of these 4. You're already under suspicion, and you want to get that second infected person in here for sure, so you can kind of get a spotlight off of you. And you never know, maybe you move on to the next section and McDavid gets infected. You don't know. So with that being said, let's draw the cards as I knocked over Bret Hart. Before we do go, guys, I forgot entirely. We should check Captain Crosby's Captain Powers. Once per round, you may do one of the following. All members draw a 6 card before entering a room. Reroll any 1 die. So he can reroll 1 dice. If he needs to. So we'll see. We'll see if he needs it to make that those a 3 of a kind. It's just 1 3 of a kind, so that's not too bad. Okay, so Brett gave his card. Again, you want to give as much dice as you can, right? Because obviously more dice means more chance you're going to win this battle. And Crosby. Okay, and we are going to shuffle. Alright. Captain discards from their own hand an axe or a knife where the investigation/battle fails. There is so much dice here. So the saboteur obviously played his card. So does Crosby have a knife or a axe? He does not, so the battle fails. So they do not defeat the Thing. So I'll go back to the rec room. Number 2. Destroy room. Destroy the current room. So this room is gone. Where is those tokens for that? I know I've seen them here. Where are we? Did I put them back in a box? Where are we here? That's all smoke. Oh, there it is. Room is destroyed. The Thing escapes. And now we shuffle all of this. Into the remaining Thing again because... Or actually no, it could still be here. It's just destroyed now and where is... I guess this goes here. There's a marker for that. I just don't know where it is. There's so many little parts here, guys. It's one of the reasons why I always say this game might be overwhelming for new players. They might think there's so much to it, but there really isn't. Yeah, I guess you just use this. Okay, so that room's destroyed. They lost their first room. Everyone's got to get back back together in a room, and they all have to draw cards. Make sure they're up to 5. So he's got 2, 3, 4, 5. What do we have here? McDavid's only ever used the 1 extinguisher, so he's up to 5 now. Quentin Jackson needs 2. Cammy's got 3, she needs 2 as well. So things are not looking good for Team Human right now. It's 3, 4, 5. 3 end blood tests. I don't know what that means actually. 1 end blood test. I think that means I gotta do a blood test. After this, like, we gotta draw blood. I'm not sure what that means. If we get to the next one, I'll read it up. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this. I can't remember what that means. 3 end blood tests. Regardless, the captaincy now goes to McDavid. And McDavid is choosing to go again to the kennels. A 5-player team, 2 yellow, 1 green. That requirement can be made. Shuffle, then reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is an axe, you pass. So now McDavid, this is really something unusual. Everybody's convinced that everyone that's not the Thing, that McDavid is human. They know he's human. So McDavid now has to be suspect of one of the other 4, and he has to decide whether or not he wants to leave one behind because he's afraid they're going to sabotage this mission. So right now, McDavid is suspect of the Charger Killer. He believes the Charger Killer is the Thing based on observations and how many sabotages have happened, and just basically the way he's been acting around the table. McDavid's sure it's Crosby. So he is taking everybody but Crosby into the kennel. So Crosby's left behind, which means Crosby gets to draw a card and discard a bad card. Crosby's turn's done. Okay, so now McDavid. Shuffle, then reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is an axe, you pass. So a situation like this now, let's talk about this before we continue on. McDavid knows, or the Thing knows, if the Thing isn't Crosby, if he's one of the other 3, he knows if he passes this mission successfully, it'll cast more doubt that Crosby's the killer, or the Thing. It'll make people look at him more. So the Thing has a bit of a choice to make, because he can actually make us go into the next sector. And or he could put doubt on Crosby if Crosby actually isn't the Thing. So there's a decision to make here for him, but we'll see. Again, everyone gives a card, and if he draws 2 random cards. If there's 1 axe, the mission fails or passes. So we are going to do that right now. Jackson has really, really good cards, you guys. Okay, so again, we are going to shuffle these so we don't know whose card was who. That's a huge part of the thing. You got to make sure that you're shuffling if you're the captain. And before we continue, I want to see what McDavid's captain power is. Clark. Watch Clark, as Wilford Brimley used to say. So his captain power is, when swapping, draw the top 3 cards of the supply deck, or discards, keep one for the pool, and return the rest to the same order. Also add +1 or -1 to any dice. So that's really cool. So we can take a look at the top 3 cards and pick one. That's an awesome captain perk for Clark. And you know what? Clark actually... I didn't even realize that, McDavid. I can't do it now, damn it. But he actually met the requirement to swap a card. So with his power, he could have looked at the top 3, and if there was an axe there, he could have picked an axe. If he was human. But let's reveal 2 random cards. There we go. So we don't look at the rest. We don't know. It's past. There's an axe in there. So now everyone's really, really looking at Crosby. And we don't know. There might have been a saboteur card in there. We'll never know. Now they have rope. So they have the first objective to get past Sector 1, which is rope. Now they need to find the thing and kill the thing. So now you guys are getting a hang of it. We've gone all the way around the table. We are now back on the other side, and it is Keith David's, or Wilfred Brimley's player, aka Quentin Jackson. We have to resupply everyone's cards. I think everyone used 1 card, correct? Yeah. Brett gets a card, Cammy gets a card, Jackson gets a card, and McDavid gets a card. He swapped his card already, Crosby, because he got left behind. Okay, so he is thinking of going into the manager's office. Quentin Jackson is. He just needs 1 green character, science person. It's a 3-man team. You're only bringing 3 people. Reveal all cards. Roll dice equal to their total plus dice value. If you get a 3 die straight into rolls, you pass. Okay, so basically it's like a mini battle. And he's got to bring 1 green person. He is definitely not bringing Crosby. They are all sus of Crosby. So he's going here, and he is bringing Cammy and McDavid. Obviously, you're going to want to bring McDavid because if you're human, you're going to think because McDavid's, out of everybody, for sure is the only human left. So again, Killer Crosby gets left behind. He's definitely someone that's sus. You're asking yourself, Grok, why would you tie him up then if you just leave him all the time? Because there are times when you'll need it. You could draw a card where it's a 6-man card, and you go, shit, we gotta bring him. So no, we're not bringing him. We'll tie him up, and then you don't have to do that. You don't have to bring him with you then, right? And or when it's his turn to be captain. So when he's captain, you can choose to tie him up. And the captaincy gets passed over him is what happens, and he gets tied up for that round. That's another way you can use it. I'm not sure if I'm using house rules too, guys. There are house rules for this that certain people play with. We had a couple, including one where there's a chance you might not be infected in the first sector. It just adds more paranoia. Instead of drawing 5 cards with 1 blood, we draw 6 cards and there's 1 blood, so there's a good chance, or a small chance, there might not be someone infected. That's a house rule we play by. Regardless, Killer Crosby and Brett both get to do resupply, or swap a card out because they got left behind. Okay, there's Crosby's. Brett's is... Okay, so, again, reveal all cards, roll dice equal to their total dice value. If you get 3 dice straight and 2 rolls, you pass, so again, they carry over. So what is Blair's captain power as well, before we get started? Blair, Wilfred Brimley. All team members draw 6 cards before entering a room. Reroll any 1 die. So we're actually going to use that. So everyone gets 6 cards. So they get an extra card each. Which means they don't have to resupply after this. What did he get? Actually, I could have used one of those for this. Oh, we can. What am I talking about? We haven't laid cards down yet. Jackson's laying that down. Cammy's laying that down. And McDavid is going to lay that down. So let's reveal the cards. All Molotov cocktails fails, they're all plus 2 dice, so that's 6 dice, maximum dice. So these 3 wanted to pass this mission. Again, if one of them's a thing, this could be a show to try to get everyone to look at these 2, or more importantly, Crosby, as everyone's convinced it's Crosby. So this is just like a mini battle, except you get two chances and not 3. So 3 straight. You get 2 chances and they carry over. So 1, 2. That carries over. And 5, 6. What is this? If you get a 3 die straight. Oh no, it's 3 straight. What am I talking about? Let's re-roll again. I got that way wrong. I thought it was like a flush. There we go, 3 straight. And what we would do if we got a second roll, we would just roll these 3. And, or roll them again and see if we get another 5, but we got 3 5s. So this mission is passed. And the mission is discard. They all get to discard a shitty card. So unfortunately, for Team Human, as that's pretty apparent that that's the 3 humans at this point, they don't get to fight the thing. Oh, Brits got left behind, so they all get to discard a crap card. And grab a new one. So they are narrowing down where the thing is. Goddamn, Quentin Jackson has really good cards. And McDavid gets to draw another card and discard a shitty card. I know he's got a crap one in here, yep. There we go. They're all up to 5 cards again. This gets taken off the board. Everyone goes back to the office. And, who was captain when they got the rope? Oh, it was Crosby, wasn't it? No, it was McDavid. McDavid when they got the rope. So McDavid actually put the rope here. This gun goes to Cammy, and McDavid has the rope. So again, Cammy's the captain. Okay, this thing is going to be in one of 3 rooms, one of the destroyed rooms, and one of these 2. So Cammy's deciding to go into the vehicle building. A 5-man team. Shuffle and reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is a knife, you pass. So it's a 5-man team. Okay, there's a lot of those missions. So once again, she's leaving Crosby behind. They're gonna all go into the vehicle building. At this point, obviously, Crosby's pleading his case. But again, he gets left behind, so he does get to discard a crappy card. That's discard. I gotta be careful. This happens sometimes. Your discard pile becomes your pile by accident. So we're actually gonna move this off to the side. This happened before. We were taking from the discard pile. Actually, you know what? That's an easier way of doing it. We'll just flip this upside down like that. Someone threw away a sabotage card. We'll never know. Okay. So again, shuffle and reveal 2 random cards. If at least one is a knife, you pass. So again, all random cards. Everybody but Crosby. Sabotage. Generator room. Someone on the team discards from their own hand a gun, or the investigation fails. So this is what needs to be played now. This hand is done. So someone needs to discard a gun, or the investigation fails. Rampage discards a gun, so it passes. They pass this mission. And now they are super super sus that somebody else other than McDavid is the Thing. They got rope again. So now Jackson has rope as well. Unfortunately, no Thing. So this gets put to the side. They all come back. So the Thing's either in one of those two rooms. They've narrowed it down now. Now Crosby would be pleading his case saying, see, I told you guys. Now Brett is the captain. And Connor McDavid ties up Brett for this round. Brett is no longer the captain. It gets passed to Crosby. Gun gets passed to Crosby. And Quentin Jackson ties up Crosby. So he gets skipped over. And it's now back to McDavid. So they're tied up for the round. They don't trust either one of them. This is how this would play out. This is so funny that it's playing out this way. So they're tied up for the round. They can't help. So no matter what cards draw, they might fuck themselves over here. If it's a 5-man and you need a dice roll, it's going to be really tight. Again, I think we got to top up everyone's cards. Yep. They don't get to swap cards, by the way, guys. If they're tied up, they just got to keep with what they have. I think Jackson used 2 cards, didn't he? Yeah, because he gave a gun. And he's already got 5, right? Oh, no. Yeah, he's got 5. Okay, so, storage room is where McDavid's going. It's a 4-5, so it would have been nice for them to have at least one more player. But reveal all cards. If you have 2 fire extinguishers or 2 Molotovs, you pass, is the mission. So everybody but Brett and Crosby are staying behind. They're going to the storage room. They're tied up to the chairs. Okay. 2 extinguishers. So instead of a best out of 4 chance, they only get a best out of 3, so. See what the beautiful Cammy White can do. Okay. Okay, we're gonna draw 2 random cards. If at least 2 are fire extinguishers, you pass. There's 1 fire extinguisher. There's 2, so they passed already. We're not going to look at this. This could be a sabotage card. Actually, that's why these shouldn't be up. Let's move this off to the side. So, and they got the Thing. So now the 3 of them get to fight the Thing. So again, the battle is on for Little Dog. And they have to put their cards forward. For as many dice as they can get for this fight. And that's the last part to get to the next sector. Alright, let's take a look. 1 dice, 3 dice, 3 dice. So yeah, they got max. It's 7 dice, but you can only get 6. So here we go again. And it's 3 rolls to get a 3 of a kind. Okay. I re-roll that because it kind of was on top. Okay, they got 2s. Oh, no. Actually, I think I'm supposed to roll them all. We just need a 2, though. Now there's 2 3s. Okay, we need a 3 or a 2 for this last roll. Alright, they got it. So they killed the Thing. Thing is dead. Yeah, it's dead. So now they all move on to the next sector. They all draw blood. And they move on. Very interesting game so far. Very interesting. These 2 are no longer tied up. Why do you have 3 ropes? It's weird. So they all come here, and again, now this whole sector is open. Let's top up cards before we go on. So he needs 2. That's why you got such a massive resupply deck, because you go through a shit ton of cards here. He needs 2. much, I think at this point we've pretty much established is either Brett or Crosby. Is what the table's definitely thinking is happy, because there's a good chance another thing is about to be entered into the game. The only way it doesn't happen is if the thing draws an infected card again. Then there's only one still, so we're gonna shuffle this up. And again, everybody puts a card back without letting anyone see their card. Okay, let's take a look. We'll start with Brett. Okay. Again, it goes back. You don't know if it was infected or a thing. This goes back. This goes back. Jeez. This goes back. Oh, I didn't put hers back either yet. Jesus. There. Oh, did I put his back too? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, so we're set. Everyone's moving on to sector number 2. And now for sector number 2, we need to kill the second thing, and we need dynamite as well. So there's dynamite in here, which is like a +5, I think, for dice if you use it as an item. Okay, so who is captain now? It is Jackson, who, as of the first sector, was completely trusted. But you never know if he drew an imitation or not now, so Jackson wants to go into sleeping quarters. 5-man team, two green, 2 blue. Shuffle then reveal 3 random cards. If at least one is a gun, you pass. So he's got to go for it. What is his cards again? I think it's draw 6th card going into a room. Yeah. It's got to be 5. So he's going to decide who he doesn't trust, who he knows right now he can't trust. He's thinking it's still Crosby at this point. So everybody but Crosby is going to go into sleeping quarters. It's funny because Crosby's character is actually the first infected person in the movie. Okay, shuffle, then reveal 3 random cards, but he's going to use his captain power, and everyone's going to draw a 6th card going in. A gun, okay. I was going to say... Sometimes, like some of these cards, you just gotta throw them away because you don't have an item. So you would throw away a petri dish because it's a weak card to have anyway, right? Okay, so we are gonna 3 random cards. Everyone's a gun. The mission passes. So again, it's one of those ones you don't reveal them all. So here we go. Knife. Fire extinguisher. Gun. They got it. Yeah, this goes in a discard pile because you can't reveal the last one. That's thing number 2, so they're fighting. Fighting thing number 2. Now thing number 2 is 2 rolls to get a 3 of a kind. So there they go. They're fighting Blair's head. That's what they're doing, and now they're going to put forward their cards. Okay. Now, McDavid. So again, we gotta shuffle. The reason I say that is if you're playing the game, McDavid threw his card on top and you guys reveal everything, you would know that's McDavid's card. So you can't, you have to like shuffle everything around. It's so awkward shuffling decks this small though. Okay, so how many cards are we gonna get? 1 dice, or so many dice? 3 dice, 0 dice, 6 dice. So we're getting max dice to get 2 of a kind. So someone threw a petri dish in there. Now, if you're playing this game and you're playing the social game, which you should be if you're playing this, you might be telling everybody, by the way, I don't have any cards, I gotta throw a petri dish in. Don't hate me for it. Okay, what do we got? We got 2, and 6. I think if I remember correctly, it's like this. You gotta roll these 2, and you had to get either a 6 or a 2. Nope. So they failed that. You only get 2 chances. Pretty sure. That's how I remember playing it. Regardless, they failed it. So again, this all gets moved around. Nope. There we go. And they failed it, so it goes down 1. Power out in this room. So power out here. There we go. So what that means is you can't go in there unless you have a flashlight. You have to use a flashlight to go in there. So that room is basically, unless you have a flashlight, you can't go into it. So it's gone. 1 end blood test. I don't know what that means. I don't think we've ever done that. 0 end blood test. I don't know. I don't know what that means. We're not going to worry about that. I don't remember ever doing any blood tests other than when you go to sections. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so up next, Cammy is captain. And Cammy is choosing to go in here, and she's going to use a flashlight to get in there. So a flashlight's going to be used. Put that there. Current sector, roll to determine room, place power out in the highest sector unlocked. Okay, so power's going out in another room. 4. That is this room, right? So nothing happens. If it rolls the same room, nothing happens. So it's still the same. They absolutely lucked out there. Power out in this room. Okay, I gotta shuffle these. Kinda thought so. It's weird. I'm like, that's not... There's fire and or smoke and stuff too, but we're actually gonna skip that because yeah, I didn't shuffle these cards. I didn't shuffle them. There we go. 4 to 5 players, 1 green, 1 yellow. Reveal all cards of at least 4 have exactly +1 dice value. You pass. So again, she's using a flashlight. 4 to 5. She is choosing to bring everybody, which is something I guess the table would most likely disagree with, because now it seems it could be a free sabotage. But she doesn't trust either one of these guys. So again, now everyone's going to draw a card, and like I said, if at least 4 have a +1, they pass. This is why she's so low on cards, because she used her flashlight to get in there. You would have to take that in consideration. If you have cards, if there's a power outage, you kind of want to hang on to your flashlights in case you got to get into that room. Okay, we need 4 +1 dice cards is what we need. So we just reveal them all. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they passed it. So the thing, and there it goes, thing 2, they're all fighting it now. The thing was trying not to show himself. So this is their second fight with the thing. So they all gotta put their cards in again, and they don't get to draw anything else. Gotta move these to the discard pile. That gun would have been good for this fight. Wait, he gave his card already, didn't he, Jackson? I don't know if he did or not, but... so we're gonna shuffle these up. Now you would think at this point that they're definitely going to be a sabotage because the whole team's in there, and there's a good chance there's a second thing now. So plus 1 dice, 3 dice, 4, 5 dice, and there is the sabotage. I'll take it. 2 people on a team each discard their own hands. From their own hands, a card with a minimum value of +2, or the investigation fails. So 2 people have to have at least a +2. It's not looking good. Crosby puts forth a +2. McDavid doesn't have any, so they fail. And Crosby tried to pass it, so now everyone's really going to be thinking, what the hell? And they failed that. So this goes up 1 more tick, and that room is now smoking. And again, we reshuffle all the things, because you gotta find the thing again. And this room is now smoking. So went from bad to worse, that room. That room is going to be on fire this next turn if they don't. And again, like I said, Crosby, who everyone is after, put forth the card that tried to help them win. Which cards does he have? 2. He's got 2. So either Crosby's playing the long game, or maybe he isn't infected. What do you guys think? So we're moving on to the next. There's only 2 more turns, because with 5 players it only goes up to 6 turns, and then it's over. So now it's Brett's turn as captain. He didn't get captain last turn, last sector, because, whoops, because he was tied up. So Brad decides to go to the infirmary. Current sector, place power out in the highest sector unlocked. The highest sector unlocked is the infirmary, so the power's out there. That's where he's going. Understand that. Place power out in the highest sector unlocked. That has to be at number 6 then, because it is unlocked, right? Yeah, it's unlocked. No, unlocked would mean. But why would you ever go there again if it's unlocked? Unlocked, I think, to me, sounds like it's been defeated. But why would you ever go back there? So the power wouldn't matter. Now we're gonna leave it there. But draw a new mission card. 4 to 5 players. 1 yellow, 1 green. Reveal all cards. Roll dice equal to the total dice values. If you pass, +24, or if you get +24, you pass. Okay, so Brett is going. He's going to take all 5 people, which again is super, super sus. But first and foremost, he needs to see if anyone's got a flashlight before he goes there. Cammy does. So they are going to go there. Okay, so they're all here. And reveal all cards. So everyone's got to put their highest cards forward, basically. And what this is, discard 1 card and draw 2 cards while swapping during investigation or battle. Now, did he reach his quota? 1 green, 1 yellow. Yes, he did. So he's going to swap. Discard 1 card and draw 2 cards while swapping during investigation. Yeah, so he gets to discard 1 and draw 2. He's got to discard 1 because he can only have 5 at the end of this all anyway. Alright, Cammy. Again, we're looking for the highest not so much anymore, but again, could be playing the long game. Okay, so we are going 0 dice, 1 dice, 3 dice, sabotage, 4 dice. Captain discards from their own hand a card with a minimum value of +2 dice or investigation fails. He's got no dice that reach that, so it fails. So he's saying he's got no dice that is +2. So the sabotage worked. They failed. So they all go back to the room. They are 1 away from complete annihilation. This room is destroyed now. Whoops. That's destroyed now. Room destroyed. And they got their second room destroyed, so things are not looking good for this team right now. The humans, that is. How many cards does everyone had? He's at 5 because he drew 2 cards to start. She is at 4. He's at 4. He's at 4, and Crosby's at 4. Okay, we're gonna have to reshuffle the deck here. So you guys can see now, it's really fun. Sorry about that. Like I said, when you get a good... Oh, and this is actually on fire now. Jeez, I hope I didn't miss that. Because that should have been on fire maybe last round. I don't know if I forgot that, guys, but that's on fire now, so that has to be dealt with this round, or the room's destroyed. Okay, we are back. And now Crosby gets the captaincy. And Crosby is choosing. First up, he's asking if anybody has an extinguisher to put that fire out. Because that needs to happen, or that room's destroyed. So Cammy volunteers. Cammy and Quentin Jackson both say they have extinguishers. So you guys agree to Cammy's volunteer. So again, oh geez, where's he going? Where's Crosby going? Crosby's going to go to the mess hall. 4 to 5 players. He can only bring 4 because Cammy again is going to go and put the fire out. So that fire is gone. There goes her discard. And you are all, the rest of everybody else is going to the mess hall for this next mission. And, oh, did I draw it or not? Was this the card I drew? Yeah, it was. Reveal all cards if at least 2 have exactly a 2+ value, you win. So that's it. At least 2 need to have +2 value. Quentin Jackson. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Reveal all cards, so we're not actually flipping random ones. We're doing a full reveal. So there's the axe +2, +1, and the sabotage. I'll take it. 2 people on the team each discard from their own hands a card with a minimum of value of +2 or the investigation fails. So two people have to have a +2. Minimum +2. Okay, so Jackson reveal an axe and a gun. So they pass the sabotage. Sabotage is done, but they still need a +2. And there's only the one. There's only the one. So that's a fail, which means the building gets destroyed and they lose the game. The humans lose the game. Yeah. That's it. The imitations won. Now, before I reveal the imitations, you guys let me know if you got it right or not. Who do you think it is right now? I would say, based on the way I played, I would say for sure Crosby is the biggest sussy guy of the bunch. But, you know, where is he? I can't even see him. Oh, that's Brett. Actually, Brett too. Brett and Crosby were the sussy ones. So what do you guys think? I'll reveal it right now. So here's Brett's card. Brett was an imitation. Brett actually was the very first imitation. Here's Crosby's card. He was human this whole time. McDavid's card, I think, is obvious. He was been human this whole time. Quentin Jackson, human as well. And our sexy Cammy White is undefeated in board games. She was an imitation that was infected going into Sector 2, and she is on the winning team again of a board game. So with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this game. Super fun game, like I said. You'll have a blast if you play this with friends. If you love Among Us, you will absolutely love this. And if you love the movie The Thing, you'll absolutely love this as well. It is such a well-done game. And it's not that long, like 45 minutes to an hour. This took about an hour, but again, I'm trying to show you guys as we're playing along. But with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys have a great night, great day, whatever it may be. And peace out. Peace out, guys.